What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak about this Austin Reaves signing and what this means for LeBron James, right? Now, every you it always comes to an end like this. Every great player goes through this. Every basketball player go through this. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. So that's not that's not really important. Everybody come to the end of the road as far as their career is concerned. But the thing about this is Stephen A. Smith, ESPN, Kendrick Perkins, they have been making it sound like that, like LeBron James at his age, he should have been the number one priority the whole time, right? Which is not true and unrealistic, especially for somebody LeBron James' age, with all with the amount of time he's been in the league, right? So Austin Reaves being signed, I thought was the best thing for the Lakers, right? But their reaction, Kendrick Perkins' reaction, and Stephen A. Smith reaction to this, I want to play their reaction and I want to react to it because I want to point out some things where I disagree with both of these guys.
Lakers signed Austin Reaves to a 4-year, $185 million max contract to keep him in LA and restrict him from becoming a free agent. So AR will stay in LA with Luka. But as for LeBron James, who is an unrestricted free agent, Shams Charania says there's been not much movement. Listen to this.
My understanding is there hasn't been an offer out to LeBron James yet as far as his free agency. We'll see how that develops over the next 4 or 5 days when free agency starts. But a lot of it is like, how much can we upgrade the roster and then potentially go back to LeBron? Or do you take care of LeBron first and then figure out any type of potential roster move?
All right. So no offer yet for LeBron James. Stephen A., is it at all concerning that the Lakers have yet to offer LeBron when they've already taken care of Austin Reaves?
Not at all. Not at all. The priority was to make sure you took care of Austin Reaves because he's got value around the league because of his youth. And as a result of that, you can sign him and deal with other stuff later. You still got Rui Hachimura, you got Luke Kennard, you got Jackson Hayes, you got these people along with LeBron James. You can exercise bird rights and keep those guys. You know that, so that's a reality. But most importantly, here's the thing that's not being said. LeBron James has graduated to a point in the NBA in his career where he could essentially choose where he wants to go for the most part. Like if LeBron James, it's a money issue where we're concerned in terms of us talking about how the Lakers ain't going to give him $52 million and all of this other stuff. I got that part. But if LeBron James, money aside, sat up there and said, I want to be on your basketball team, who's telling him no? Anybody telling him no?
See, that's what Stephen A. Smith is not telling the truth. Brian Windhorst came out and said that nobody, like other teams that are around the league, don't want LeBron James, right? And even before Brian Windhorst even said that, I remember, what was it? Rich Paul said that there were like 12 teams that were interested in LeBron James, and everybody just laughed at that because they knew it wasn't true. People, that didn't really upset people. But Stephen A. Smith, he keep telling these lies and trying to make it sound like there's a market for LeBron James, him and Kendrick Perkins. Now, I want y'all to notice something, that Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith don't mind misleading or lying to the public, even when people know that they're lying and they just, they're just blowing smoke. But when it's time to tell the truth, that truth comes from Brian Windhorst. Like, if you notice, nobody else co-signed what Stephen A. Smith says about LeBron, and they don't really co-sign what Kendrick Perkins said about LeBron. So when it's time to tell the truth, though, that's when it comes from Brian Windhorst, right? Brian Windhorst never said anything. Sometimes when they talking on the set, Brian Windhorst will never say anything. He'll just sit there expressionless and let Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith just say what they want to say about LeBron, even though Brian Windhorst and everybody else on the panel sitting there knowing that it's not true, right? So what does this mean? This means that they are allowing Stephen A. Smith, everybody on that panel is allowing Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins just to sell out, right? And then when it's time to tell the truth, like I said, then they'll allow Brian Windhorst or somebody else on the staff that they want to be to have like legitimate credibility, right? And Stephen A. Smith don't get it. Kendrick Perkins don't get it, and they keep on. That's why I think that their credibility is they're allowing ESPN, in my opinion, to ruin their credibility with these kinds of lies.
I mean, you might have one or two teams that might say no, but for the most part, 95% of the league is going to be like, hell yeah, let's make this happen, especially if money is not a factor. With him, it could be respect. He understands the business of the NBA, but he's graduated to that point where essentially he can dictate what he wants to do. If he wants to stay.
He can't dictate anything. He has no leverage, right? In years past, LeBron James has always had the leverage. If he had leverage or he could dictate something like Stephen A. Smith just said, then he would be number one priority for the Lakers. And Austin Reaves would not have gotten signed. Remember early in the season when what was the guy? Rich Paul was saying that the Lakers should get rid of Austin Reaves because he knew that Austin Reaves was the biggest threat to LeBron James. So that's why he wanted Austin Reaves out of the picture. Once Austin Reaves would have been out of the picture, then just imagine if Austin Reaves is not there. Then the Lakers probably will have no choice but to sign LeBron James because there's really nothing else on the market that they could, that they really could go for. But they signed Austin Reaves before they signed LeBron James. This has never happened in LeBron James's career. So, Stephen A. Smith is just lying.
In LA, they ain't telling them to go home. If he wants to depart and say, I want to go back to Cleveland, they ain't telling them no. If he called Pat Riley and said, listen, I want to come back and join Giannis and Bam in LA, you think Riley's going to tell him no? He ain't going to tell him no. So that's what we have to understand. It's not really concerning to me because it's LeBron and that is his reality. A reality, by the way, that he has earned.
Vinny?
I'm a little concerned because normally it's two things. This is a relationship business. This is a respect business. And when you are LeBron James, think of all the times that LeBron has been an unrestricted free agent at any point in his career. Not only was he his incumbent team top priority, he was the league's top priority. This is the first time where he's not even the top priority on his own team. I wonder how that makes him feel. Now, if the Lakers have come to LeBron and said, LeBron, we're going to take care of Austin Reaves first, and then we're going to go and try to make these other moves, and then we're going to present to you a roster and tell you how much money we have left, that's one thing. But if you haven't had any contact with them, if you haven't said this is our plan, and then we're going to come back to you, it sounds like you're a plan B. And if I'm LeBron James and Rich Paul, and we know how they move in terms of leverage, they move in terms of power, this probably doesn't make them feel very good. If you talk to an agent of an incumbent team and you have this window after the NBA Finals and before June 30th where you can talk to your own free agents, where you can agree to your own deals, look around the league, y'all. Nobody hits free agency anymore. Free agency comes in the form of you being traded or you signing your contract before you even hit June 30th. None of those things have happened. I'm not saying that the Lakers don't consider LeBron James a priority. I'm not saying that these two sides aren't going to come to an agreement, but I'm not going to pretend that this is a positive sign or this is a sign of a partnership, because when you have LeBron James, you are in partnership with LeBron James. 40 years old, 25 years old, you are in partnership until he says otherwise. This is a change in the paradigm.
That's the most honest take right there, right? And so he mentioned it's about relationships, right? And I've been saying that the whole time I've been doing, every time I speak on LeBron James, that business is about relationships. LeBron James thinks that business is just about leverage and power. You don't always have leverage, and you're not always sitting in a position of power. So you have to have the foresight to be able to build relationships and show loyalty, right? Because you can't always strong arm teams or people into getting what you want. And now when you find yourself like LeBron James in this type of position where you don't have the leverage, you don't have the power, and now you don't have the relationships. That was, in my opinion, that was the best road to go. Sometimes you got to give a little, so in the long run you'll get more. But LeBron James right now is in a position like, teams, the Laker organization really, I think they probably be polite about the situation. But LeBron James, in my opinion, is not even he's not even plan B for them. I think he's plan C. Plan A is Luka. Plan B is Austin Reaves, and then Plan C might be LeBron James. That's if they even want him back. But Stephen A. Smith just continues to lie and try to mislead the public. And Stephen A. Smith really don't see what this network is doing to him and his credibility.
Perk.
The Lakers are dead bird, tall grass, straight up. And I never want to come on here because I'm always a big person that's going to advocate for guys getting their money. But the Lakers just showed us that their two franchise guys that they believe in is Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. And I'm going to say this again. They can't be thinking championships because you can't have both of your franchise guys be defensive liabilities. And that's what Luka is, and that's what Austin Reaves is.
And if LeBron James wasn't a defensive liability and 40-something years old and been in the league for 23 years, then he would have been a priority. So, again, Perkins, he got to be careful because he's losing all credibility.
Let's keep it a buck. LeBron James should have been prioritized before Austin Reaves. LeBron James is the second most important player that was on that Laker roster behind Luka Doncic. And if I'm Bryant, I definitely feel some type of way. But if I'm Bryant, I'm also sitting back and I'm saying, okay, Rob, okay, front office, what else are y'all going to do? Because Luka said he has come out publicly, or the reports have come out, that he wants a A-list center. Well, what A-list center is out there, right? What A-list center are you going to get? You're not going to go get a Jalen Duren, excuse me. Who else is out there? You're going to go get a Karl Anthony Towns? You can't get him. So my thing is, the reason that Luka wants an A-list center is because his offensive package, meaning lob threat at the basket. But secondly, he's trying to get an A-list center to cover up for what they lack on perimeter defense.
That's been the whole thing, though. Even with LeBron there, they still need a big center because LeBron don't play defense. Luka is not really all that good at defense. Reaves is not good at defense, so you still need a center. So you can't shift the blame onto to Luka for wanting a rim protector. Whether LeBron is there or not. LeBron James plays matador defense at this point in time in his career, right? So, Kendrick Perkins and, like I said, and Stephen A. Smith just act like the people watching basketball don't see and don't know anything about basketball. If LeBron is there, they need a center. They need a rim protector. If LeBron is gone, they need a center. They need a rim protector. LeBron don't help them on defense. So why even, I don't know what the point that Kendrick Perkins is trying to make.
This is a problem.
I can't believe you two. I can't believe you two. First of all, just to put y'all out there on Front Street, ladies and gentlemen, Kendrick Perkins is 41 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, Vincent Goodwill is 38 years old.
I'm 41. Okay? Don't do that. I'm 41 too.
You 41?
Black don't crack as long as you don't do it, baby.
No. You were born in 1987, my brother. You're 38 years old, okay? All right? And you're 41. Here's the deal, y'all. If I asked y'all what y'all were 10 years ago compared to what you are now, you understand what I'm saying? Stuff changes. LeBron is 41. This is business. What happens is that Austin...
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith just tried to walk down the middle of the street. A few seconds ago, now he's talking about his business. And business is still about relationships. LeBron James chose the road. He chose to always use power and leverage as far as when it came to negotiating. Now he don't have the power or the leverage, and so it's the Lakers. Austin Reaves had the power and the leverage because he's younger and right now, and he's better than LeBron James. So they made him a priority. And this right here, all basketball players go through it, but you got to be prepared for this situation when it comes. So, you know, that's my point in all of this. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.